Hello guys and welcome to my channel. In this session, I want to talk about technical processes. Well, technical processes consist of 14 processes, namely business or mission analysis, stakeholder needs and requirements definition, system requirements definition, architecture definition, design definition, system analysis, implementation, integration, verification, transition, validation, operation, maintenance, and finally disposal. Well, in this session, I will give you a brief introduction about technical processes and then talk about the first process, which is business or mission analysis. If you want to find out more about other processes, then don't miss the future upcoming videos. And as always, have a good one. The ISO IEC IEEE 15288 technical processes and supporting process activities are invoked throughout the life cycle stages of a system. Technical processes are defined in ISO IEC IEEE 15288 as follows. The technical processes are used to define the requirements for a system, to transform the requirements into an effective product, to permit consistent reproduction of the product where necessary, to use the product to provide the required services, to sustain the provision of those services, and to dispose of the product when it is retired from the service. Well, technical processes enable systems engineers to coordinate the interaction between engineers, specialists, other engineering disciplines, system stakeholders and operators, and manufacturing. They also address conformance with the expectations and legislated requirements of society. These processes lead to the creation of a sufficient set of requirements and resulting system solutions that address the desired capabilities within the bounds of performance, environment, external interfaces, and design constraints. Without the technical processes, the risk of project failure would be unacceptably high. As illustrated in below figure, the technical processes begin with the development of needs and requirements. Needs. A need is a thing that is wanted or required. For a system, needs are often capabilities or things that are lacking but wanted or desired by one or more stakeholders. These can be viewed in at least three contexts in which SE is performed. 1. Projects with customers internal to the enterprise that is doing the engineering. 2. Development under an agreement with an external entity. And 3. Entrepreneurial product development in anticipation of future sales. Requirements. Requirements are formal structured statements that can be verified and validated. There may be more than one requirement defined for each need. Note, one underlying principle illustrated by below figure is that when a decision is made to satisfy a need, that need gives rise to a corresponding requirement or set of requirements. ISO IEC IEEE 15288 includes 14 technical processes, the roles of the first four of which are illustrated in below figure. Business or mission analysis process. Requirements definition begins with the business vision of the organization or enterprise, the concept of operations or CONOPS, and other organization strategic goals and objectives from which business management define business needs, aka mission needs. These needs are supported by preliminary lifecycle concepts, acquisition concept, deployment concept, operational concept or OPSCON, support concept, and retirement concept. Business needs are then elaborated and formalized into business requirements, which are often captured in a business requirements specification or BRS. Stakeholder needs and requirements definition process. Using the enterprise level CONOPS from the acquiring enterprise and the system level preliminary OPSCON from the development enterprise as guidance, requirements engineers lead stakeholders from business operations through a structured process to elicit stakeholder needs in the form of a refined system-level OPSCON and other life cycle concepts. Stakeholder needs are then transformed by requirements engineers into a formal set of stakeholders' requirements, which are often captured in a Stakeholder Requirements Specification or STRS. System Requirements Definition Process. The stakeholder requirements in the STRS are then transformed by requirements engineers into system requirements, which are often contained in a System Requirements Specification or SYRS. Architecture Definition Process. Alternative system architectures are defined and one is selected. Design definition process. System elements are defined in sufficient detail to enable implementation consistent with the selected system architecture. System analysis process. Mathematical analysis, modeling, and simulation are used to support other technical processes. Implementation process. System elements are realized to satisfy system requirements, architecture, and design. Integration process. System elements are combined into a realized system. Verification process. Evidence is provided that the system elements, and the work products in the life cycle meet the specified requirements. Transition process. The system moves into operations in a planned, orderly manner. Validation process. Evidence is provided that the system elements, and the work products in the life cycle will achieve their intended use in the intended operational environment. Operational process. The system is used. Maintenance process. The system is sustained during operations. Disposal process. The system or system elements are deactivated, disassembled, and removed from operations. Alright, guys, now I will talk about the first technical process, which is about business or mission analysis process. As stated in ISO IEC IEEE 15288, the purpose of the business or mission analysis process is to define the business or mission problem or opportunity, characterize the solution space, and determine potential solution classes that could address a problem or take advantage of an opportunity. Business or mission analysis initiates the lifecycle of the system of interest or SOI by defining the problem domain, identifying major stakeholders, identifying environmental conditions and constraints that bound the solution domain, developing preliminary lifecycle concepts for acquisition, operations, deployment, support, and retirement, and developing the business requirements and validation criteria. Below figure is the IPO diagram for the business or mission analysis process. The business or mission analysis process includes the following activities and tasks. Prepare for business or mission analysis. Establish a strategy for business or mission analysis, including the need for and requirements of any enabling systems, products, or services. Define the problem or opportunity space. Review identified gaps in the organization strategy with respect to desired organization goals or objectives. Analyze the gaps across the trade space. Describe the problems or opportunities underlying the gaps. Obtain agreement on the problem or opportunity descriptions. Characterize the solution space. Nominate major stakeholders or individuals or groups. Business owners nominate the major stakeholders who are to be involved in the acquisition, operations, support, and retirement of the solution. Define preliminary OPSCON. An OPSCON describes how the system works from the operator's perspective. The preliminary OPSCON summarizes the needs, goals, and characteristics of the system's user and operator community. The OPSCON also identifies the system context and system interfaces, that is, the operational environments. Define other preliminary lifecycle concepts. The business owner identify preliminary lifecycle concepts insofar as they may wish to scope any aspect of the acquisition, deployment, support, and retirement of the solution. Establish a comprehensive set of alternative solution classes. Evaluate alternative solution classes. Evaluate the set of alternative solution classes and select the preferred classes. Appropriate modeling, simulation, and analytical techniques help to determine the feasibility and value of the alternative candidate solutions. Ensure that the preferred alternative solution classes has been validated in the context of the proposed business or mission strategy. Feedback on feasibility, market factors, and alternatives is also provided for use in completing the organization strategy and further actions. Manage the business or mission analysis. Establish and maintain traceability of analysis results, such as requirements and preliminary lifecycle concepts. Provide baseline information for configuration management. Nominate major stakeholders. Although the detailed identification of stakeholders is undertaken in the stakeholder needs and requirements definition process, during business and mission analysis, the business managers are responsible for nominating major stakeholders and often for establishing a stakeholder board. It is fundamentally a business management function to ensure stakeholders are available and willing to contribute to the system development. Most stakeholders are heavily occupied in business operations and must be given permission to expend effort and resources on other than their operational tasks. ConOps and OpsCon. ANSI and AIAA states that the terms concept of operations and operational concept are often used interchangeably, but notes that an important distinction exists in that each has a separate purpose and is used to meet different ends. ISO IEC IEEE 29148 describes the ConOps as the ConOps at the organization level addresses the leadership's intended way of operating the organization. It may refer to the use of one or more systems as black boxes to forward the organization's goals and objectives. The ConOps document describes the organization's assumptions or intent in regard to an overall operation or series of operations of the business with using the system to be developed, existing systems, and possible future systems. This document is frequently embodied in long-range strategic plans and annual operational plans. The ConOps document serves as a basis for the organization to direct the overall characteristics of the future business and systems, for the project to understand its background, and for the users of ISO IEC IEEE 29148 to implement the stakeholder requirements elicitation. ISO IEC IEEE 29148 describes the OpsCon as a system operational concept or OpsCon document describes what the system will do, not how it will do it and why or rationale. An OpsCon is a user-oriented document that describes system characteristics of the to be delivered system from the user's viewpoint. The OpsCon document is used to communicate overall quantitative and qualitative system characteristics to the acquirer, user, supplier, and other organizational elements. Both the OpsCon and ConOps are prepared by the organization that has the business need for the SOI. The ConOps is developed by or for the leadership at the enterprise level of the organization using the SOI. In some acquisitions, The ConOps may not be formalized, but rather implied by other business concepts and/or strategies. The OpsCon is prepared at the business level. Business management begins with the preparation of the preliminary OpsCon, which summarizes business needs from an operational perspective for the solution classes that address the problem or opportunity. The preliminary OpsCon is then elaborated and refined by business operations into the OpsCon by engagement with the nominated stakeholders during the stakeholder needs and requirements definition process. The final OpsCon, therefore, contains both the business needs and the stakeholder needs. The OpsCon may be iteratively refined as a result of feedback obtained through the conduct of the system requirements definition and architecture definition processes. The OpsCon is just one of the lifecycle concepts required to address the stakeholder needs across the system lifecycle. Preliminary concepts are established in the business or mission analysis process to the extent needed to define the problem or opportunity space and characterize the solution space. These concepts are further refined in the stakeholder needs and requirements definition process. In addition to the operational aspects, other related lifecycle concepts are required to address. Acquisition concept describes the way the system will be acquired, including aspects such as stakeholder engagement, requirements definition, design, production, and verification. The supplier enterprises may need to develop more detailed concepts for production, assembly, verification, transport of system and/or system elements. Deployment concept describes the way the system will be validated, delivered, and introduced into operations, including deployment considerations when the system will be integrated with other systems that are in operation and/or replace any systems in operation. Support concept describes the desired support infrastructure and manpower considerations for supporting the system after it is deployed. A support concept would address operating support, engineering support, maintenance support, supply support, and training support. Retirement concept describes the way the system will be removed from operation and retired, including the disposal of any hazardous materials used in or resulting from the process and any legal obligations. For example, regarding IP rights protection, any external financial or ownership interests, and national security concerns. Business requirements and validation. Specify business requirements. It is often helpful to specify business requirements as part of the business and mission analysis process. Business requirements are often contained in a BRS, which the Guide to the Business Analysis Body of Knowledge calls the business requirement document. The term specification has some variation in use in various industries, but it is used here to be synonymous with document. That is, business requirements are captured in the BRS, stakeholder requirements in the STRS, and system requirements in the SYRS. Define business validation criteria. The business must define how it will know that the solution provided will meet the OpsCon. Validation criteria establish critical and desired system performance. Thresholds and objectives for system performance parameters that are critical for system success and those that are desired but may be subject to compromise to meet the critical parameters.